Good evening and welcome to Next Gen Season 14. This is the Group A1s. We're here for round number 3 at Donington Park National. The first race of the season, which is open choice, so the guys get to choose their car out of the Mercedes, the Ford and the BMW. And once they select tonight, that is the car that they must use for future open car races, as we watch Scooby G in the Mercedes going through the old hairpin. "15 competitors tonight. We have Darren 2015 Jones. It's his debut tonight. He's gone in the BMW, not normally a favoured car in this series. Whitford Zero is in the Mercedes with NGR Fraser also in the Mercedes. D Whitehouse 7 has gone with the Mercedes with Slider Gas also in the Mercedes. NGR Lee has gone in the Ford Sierra with Cam123 Diz in the Mercedes. One High Mofo is gone Mercedes with Jamie WRX also now in the Sierra. The Les is in the Sierra with Scooby G in the Merc. Webby's a Johnny in the Merc. Adam Morris also in a Merc. Royston has gone BMW, and Jack TM53 Synopsis has gone in the Ford Sierra. Watch Fraser coming up towards McLean's on his first flying lap. As we get down to Fogarty S's. And out. Across the line, and it's a 1:15.1 for Fraser. With a very sideways out of McLean's. He's pushing that car somewhat. Here's the Les. Try and find someone who... Let's go on board Adam Morris for a ride. So we head down the main straight, down towards Redgate. Hit the brakes, late entry apex for a Redgate, on the power as early as you can, out towards Hollywood, which is an absolutely flat right-hander. Into the Craner curves, flick left, down the hill, completely flat, watch out for the rear end, hit the brakes into the old hairpin. Again, don't take too much curb because it will penalise you, but very nicely done through Adam Morris. Up through Schwartz Curve. Well, actually, Stucky Bridge, then Schwartz Curve, into McLean's. Again, two real options. Go in early, a bit like Adam Morris has done. You could go later, square it off a bit. The way Adam Morris goes does induce a little bit more oversteer. Up towards Coppice, over the crest, blind right-hander. Power out. Down Starkey Straight and towards the Fogarty S's, or as is known now as Roberts, but Fogarty S's it will always be. Hit the brakes into the S's. Up to and across the line. What do we do on this attempt with Adam Morris? A 112.7. Currently, Jamie WRX is in pole position by 0.051. He is actually up on his delta coming into Schwartz Curve and McLean's. Jack just ahead of him. Oh, Jamie, big wiggle, clipping the curb and the grass coming out of McLean's. Opposite lock coming, look at the drift out of that. Into the Fogarty S's end for Jack. He's got traffic to contend with. That's Scooby G. Bit of opposite lock coming out of the chicane. What can he do? 1:11.327 to beat. He only goes and does it. A 1:11.081 now for Jack. He's 1/10 up on Jamie WRX. Deleuze having a good one in this Sierra as well. 1:11.4. And a Morris the top of the Mercs. He's going slowly. He's gone in the pits. Whitford 0. Currently in 5th with NGR Lee in 6th. Scooby G. That's Jack going for a bit of a wander. Or is it Jamie? I don't know who that is actually. Going for a bit of a wander. But Scooby G coming down towards McLean's. Up into Coppice. Again, oversteer going all the way through pretty much. A lot more stable than the Sierra though, so that could work in his favour going down the back straight. That is Jamie WRX behind him. Onto the main straights. And across the line for Scooby G. What can he do? Puts it in 5th. Here's DYS7 as Adam Morris. NGR Lee in the Sierra. Coming through Coppice. Down Starkey straight towards the Fogarty S's. Jamie went back in the pits to get a bit more space. Lee not... Darren has left the session. Look, he's got 8 minutes to get back in. Maybe something not right. But he crosses the line, NGR Lee, and goes 3rd fastest. 2/10 off the pace. Here comes Cam. We know he's quick in that Mercedes. Can't move himself up anymore. Morris gently been sliding down the order here. Here comes D Whitehouse 7. Into the pits. One Murphy just starting a lap. There's a Scooby G. Bit sideways into the Fogarty S's there. He crosses the line. 7 minutes 10 to go. Doesn't improve. 1.5 off the pace. It's not where Scooby normally is. Here comes Jamie, all over the grass, coming out of the chicane. He'll be starting a fresh lap. Here's the Les and the Zipper car. Oh, Mikey RK13 has joined the lobby. Very extreme meant to be here, but I think he's on World of Tanks, which is other tank games are available, but that's what he's on at the moment, which is weird enough. Here comes Cam across the line again. Doesn't improve. And a Morris doesn't improve either. Six minutes to go. This 1.957 mile circuit. First raced on back in 1931. News from the pit lane is there's a gap in qualifying, however the Ford eats the tyres very quickly, so the Mercedes in race trim will run quite well compared to the Ford once the tyre wear has sunk in. Donington Park originally 2.186 miles, the only layout, back in 1931. That's developed throughout the years. 1935 got 2.552 miles in 1935 into 37. It went up to 3.125 miles. They also had a club circuit, but it was unknown. And then this sort of layout was initiated in 1985, and it's pretty much been kept ever since. And this national circuit actually was done in 1977. And this was the Grand Prix circuit before they added on the Melbourne hairpin section. This They had some proposals in 2010 for a slightly different track. And it was an interesting one, actually, because it would have had 4 different layouts. With the start-finish rate being somewhere different. But obviously that got binned, and obviously it's stayed as is since the present day. That's what you're seeing now. 4 minutes and 15 to go. NGRE across the line. Down on his time. Cam has done very well in that Mercedes to get within 7/10 of the Ford. So we know the Ford is a very, very quick car in qualifying trim. Someone spinning in the background there. The White House 7 coming up towards the line. Doesn't improve. Slightly gas towards the line. He doesn't improve either. Royston doesn't either. Mikey RK13 in the Sierra. Remember, this man's on controller. So I'm going to take my hats off to him. Fair play for being on controller, taking that hideous, hideous car of a Sierra for a run. Les, a good showing so far in 4th place. Just as bit of knowledge in the background. Also news from Billy. Jack thinks Cam is favourite for the race due to his qualifying pace at the moment being in the only other man in the 111s, and the only man to do it without using the Ford. So he comes up towards the line. Yes, so Jamie F30 does lead the championship. He's on 32 points from Scooby G on 29. Whitford 0, I think that says 24, but I'm not entirely sure. But the Les is in 4th, One Home over 5th. Adam Morris is in 6th, Jack in 7th. John Lee, after his unfortunate disconnect, in 8th. Slightly Gas 9th, Ryan Agreesby 10th. DY House 7 is in 11th, Royston 12th. F124YS, who's no longer in the championship, he is in 17th. Tim 14th, Web User Johnny 15th, Envoy Extreme 16th, and Mikey RK 13 is in 17th place. So to carry on, Jack still out on pole position at the moment. This will be a bit of a boost if he can get this sorted for his championship challenge. So there's sideways. That's someone who spun. That's a Mercedes. I think it's Cam. I've got a feeling. It's Johnny. It could be. Yes, it's the White House 7 who's had a bit of a spin. Jack just coming through the final corner, twitchy as hell. He'll get one more attempt to try and improve his lap time. He didn't prove it on that occasion. No improvement for Jamie either. Here comes NGR late. Behind him is Cam. Through the final chicane. This is it then. Lee. Oh, gas Cam into the wall in the background, but NGR Lee moves into 2nd place. 0.044 away from Jack there. Cam into the wall. One Mofos joined. He's actually ended up going out of qualifying, and he's joined too late to get back in. So we're down to 14. Here comes the Les. Jack behind him. What can these guys do? The Les up to the line. Doesn't improve. Jack, who has spun or something at the final corner. He's going for a practice start. Jamie WX goes back into second place. 0.039 away from Jack, and just 5 thousandths even in front of NGR Lee. Here comes Scooby G. Across the line, stays in 6th. He's only a second outside. Jack getting a practice start in before the end of the session. So, Jack has qualified on pole position. That's a point for him. Jamie WX in 2nd with NGR Lee in 3rd. The Les is in 4th with Cam in 5th. Scooby G is 6th. Fraser 7th. Whitford 0 in 8th. Adam Morris 9th. DY House 7 in 10th. Slightly Gas 28 is in 11th. Whippy Johnny is in 12th with Royston 13th. Mikey not setting a time in 14th and last place. So we await the start of this race, 22 laps around Donington Park National. Should work out to be around about 25 minutes to half an hour of your time. Amazing, looking at the sectors, Jack actually the slowest of the top 3 through the first sector. Quickest through the second, joint second actually with Jamie through the last one. But here we go. We are going to sink in. For round number 3 we have the 3 red lights. We are green at Donington. What a start from Cam 123 Diz in the background. Absolutely launching forward. He's down the inside. Jack now on the inside trying to defend that first place from Jamie, who in turn's got to be careful. That lead's going to go down the inside. He headed towards Hollywood for the first time there, side by side. Down towards the crane of curves. Everyone's got through cleanly, I believe. I think someone's just had a bit of a touch coming out and spun DY House 7 through the crane of curves, side by side, between Jamie and Lee. Into the old hairpin. Jamie keeps the second place from Lee. The Les is in 4th place. Cam back into 5th after what looked like a phenomenal start. Scooby G is in 6th with Whitford in 7th. Fraser is in 8th with Slider Gas 9th. Webuser Johnny is in 10th. Mikey RK 13 in 11th with Adam Morris down to 12th place. Pass off of him. Royston's just spun round at McLean's. He's in 13th with DI House 7 about to be 13th place. Slider Gas has already got a penalty. Back at the front though. And it is Linus Stern going down towards the Fogarty Aces for the first time of 22. Jack will lead lap number 1. That's the Les out wide. There's Jordan. Good to see you, mate. How are you? See in Cam 123 Diz's corner. Got a bit of a job to catch up. However, we know the tyre status. The Fords will initially be quicker. However, the Mercedes will come into their own in the second part of the race due to the tyre wear. The Sierras do eat the tyres. We see Jamie WX coming up towards Jack here for the lead. Through towards curve and into McLean's. That's the lane's gone very, very wide. Almost taking out Cam. Luckily avoiding him. Very good driving So Cam up into 4th place, although the Les has got back in. Nope, no he hasn't. I think he's just let Cam back through Coppice. Jamie still hot on the heels of Jack, but Lee is right there if anything goes wrong. Cam up into 4th. The Les has dropped back down to 7th, so maybe he's ended up cutting McLean's because of that. So having to drop back a few places. Jamie still on the heels then of the leader. Cam there. Here comes the Les. He's going to go side by side with Whitford, coming up towards Redgate for the 3rd time. Actually passes Whitford before the braking zone. So up to 6th with the Les. But you can see a bit of signage there. See how much better the Mercedes is through the corners. And there's D107 back to the front. Jack still leads. There's Jamie. There is Cam. Let's go on board with Cam. He should have a good overall view here. Down into McLean's, and that's Lee off. Lee's clipped the grass on the entry to McLean's. He is off. Cam up into the podium positions. And Lee not yet got out of the gravel trap. He is way down. There he is, down in 9th place. Here comes web user Johnny. He's gone past now as well. So NGL Lee, a lot of work to do from 10th place. But the leading battle between Jack and Jamie now. Up to the line. What's in the background? That is the Les getting past Scooby G for 4th place. He is absolutely screaming along at the moment. A 1:12.2 last time around compared to Scooby's 1:13.9. Cam doing good pace actually as well, 1:11.8. He is keeping up with the top boys at the moment in the early stages of this race. And Scooby G, there's Whitford, there's Fraser, there's Sliding Gas. Maybe so Johnny has Lee right on his bumper. This is how close we're going to get as we head into the old hairpin. Lee looking for a better run out as we head towards Starkey's Bridge and Sports Curve. Around the outside on the grass. Makes the move stick into McLean's. That's a fantastic move from NGR Lee as he goes back up into 8th place now. Whitford has had an issue. That would be why he's gone up that much. I think Whitford's had a bit of a spin somewhere. Next target for Slider Gas is for NGR Lee is this man, Slider Gas 28. Across the line we come. Cam, the fastest man of the top 3. That time around, 0.05 quicker than Jack. So are we seeing the tyres coming a little bit earlier than everyone expected? Jay's dropped off the back of Jack here, so if Jack can try and conserve the tyres with that Sierra whilst managing the gap, that would be nigh on perfect. D-White House 7 looking around the outside. Oh, web user Johnny through Redgate, getting the move done, or defending it, one or the other. Slider Gas has made a mistake, so NGR Lee now moves up into 7th place. There's Royston. Adam Morris is another mistake. He's down to 14th. He needs to keep going. He needs to keep just staying there, because if you finish, you get the points. And points means prizes at the end of the day in racing. But Slider Gas has D-White House 7 for company as they head through McLean's. And Slider Gas is round into the barrier. And that'll be a few places lost as there goes Whitford now. Mikey just coming up through McLean's a bit sideways. Almost losing it. But ultimately okay. He goes through. There goes Royston as well. And I believe Adam Morris may even get him as well. Coming on the exit of Coppice. Or no, I think... so yes, it's just about recovered for that there. Meanwhile, at the front, Jack just heading through the old hairpin and onto lap number 6. Again, Cam the quickest man on that last lap of the top trio. The Les is catching at a serious rate, not so serious, little bits here and there, but it's enough to start making a difference. And Gianni will be pushing like mad here. He's got to have a good result. He accidentally retired out of Bannock Brae because of the way the project car system works. With the return to the main menu button. He is sideways into Coppice. A lot of work to be done, but he is actually catching up with Fraser here. A second a lap, which is good stuff actually. And yet again, Cam closing in even more. About 3/10 that last lap alone. The tyres are really starting to favour the Mercedes very early on here. Gap. The gap now closing. .7 is the gap. 0.7.8 from Jamie to Cam. And the way Cam's closing, it's only going to be a couple more laps, although that's going to help him. Now we've got a battle for second on. Cam up the chuff off Jamie as we head down through Coppice. Now I'm expecting the Ford to pull away from the Mercedes down the straight here. But how much slipstream will that get? Yeah, there you go. You see almost 10 miles an hour, I think the difference is between the two cars. However, obviously the Sierra not very good through the corner, as you see there. Cam looking for a move on the outside. Can't quite do it. He was looking to get the inside for Redgate. Now these two can't battle too hard. If they battle too hard, Cam will not get a chance at victory. And they've got to end up starting to work together if they can't find a way of either Cam getting past. They'll need to work together to get up to Jack here, because the more time they waste fighting, the more time they'll lose to Jack, and the less chance either of them will have to win the race. Back on board with Cam. You get, oh, I think that's Jamie with a penalty. Cam up into second place now. I don't know what happened to Jamie. Maybe a small penalty there coming out of the old hairpin. But Cam has now been released. He's got 2.2 seconds now to make up on Jack. He's losing a little bit of time fighting with Jamie. He's run a bit wide though, and that could give him a penalty. Covers off the inside of Redgate because Jamie will be looking. Oh, Jamie had to turn out of that one. .3 then the gap. Cam has to close. What can he do about Jack? Meanwhile, Whitford has D Whitehouse 7 approaching him, or I think actually it's the other way around. Whitford's passed D Whitehouse 7. But it's a nice little close-knit battle. And also Royston, who's got slightly gas behind him. There's Mikey, there's Alan Morris, who's having an absolute awful race. I don't think he does very well around Donington. But Cam, now 1.6, he is reeling in that Ford. I'm not going to lie, Chris. Jack, who is leading, actually favoured Cam to win this race because of the qualifying pace he had in that Mercedes. No one could get near Cam in the same car. He was 7/10 off of Jack in qualifying in a car that is actually slower over the course of a one-lap period on fresh tyres. So he's looking strong, although I think Cam ended up losing a lot of time actually through the final section, because he didn't gain on Jack at all there. Meanwhile, Sliding Gas has passed Royston. And Adam Morris has retired, unfortunately. Which is not ideal. Whitford's had another mistake. He's down to 10th place. He's got to recatch Webby's Johnny. Yeah, 124. Not ideal that for Whitford. Scooby G has been passed by Fraser as well. Obviously, we wouldn't really know that because they both start with NGR. Cam this time definitely closer. He needs to get these chicane right. This is absolutely critical to lose as little time down the next straight. And the quicker he can go through there, the less time he'll lose down the straight. But there we go. Nearly, well, 2/10 quicker than Jack on that lap. Two seconds the gap as I head through Hollywood and down through the Craner curves for the 11th time. This is the halfway point. So this is where you start to expect the Mercedes to get even stronger. Although Jamie is catching up on behind Cam here. I wonder if that Ford is very, very good in the dirty air of the car in front. Oh, and that looked like a penalty for Cam. Slow down. So Jamie now back ahead of Cam in second place. Cam's going to have to do all that hard work again. And he's 3/10 behind Jamie, coming down towards the Fogarty S's. But look at the run he gets coming out of the chicane. It's just a shame that car doesn't have the top end. Let's see. About 10 to 15 miles an hour quicker that Ford in the straight line. Down through the Craners, this for the 12th time. Jack now looking very, very strong at the front. The Les is putting in good times actually, a 12-0 there in the last lap. He's just not quite in the running. Let's face it, there's Scooby G. They are gradually closing on each other, but NGRE is catching them at an even faster rate of knots. So expect him to be on their tails very shortly. Maybe Johnny does have Whitford closing in. Other than that, that is your battles. Jamie has now lost even more time, as well as Cam. Actually, the gap now 3.6 seconds between Jack and Cam. So something's happened between these two, which has lost him even more time. It's going to make it even harder. 4 seconds the gap across the line for Cam. Going to have to start pushing that car hard. He's into second place, which is good. But he does have the potential to win this race. On board with NGR Lee as we head down towards Redgate. Those two Mercs up ahead are the target. See him backing the car in. Down through the Craners for the 13th time into the old hairpin. Through Starkey's Bridge. Fraser with a penalty holds up Scooby G. Here comes NGR Lee looking around the outside of Schwartz Curve into McLean's down the inside. Can't quite get the move complete. That Mercedes far too strong in the corner, but here we go up towards Coppice. Shallower angle line, look around the outside. Oh, and Scooby gets a little bit out of shape. And unfortunately, just a little tap from Lee on the rear quarter sends Scooby off, but not really Lee's fault. So he'll carry on. He's in 6th place at the moment. Jack, where has that time come from? A 1:11.7 from Jack and a 1:11.8 from Jamie. Carrying in the 1:12s. So is the cars now turning back around in favour of the Sierras? That's strange. I mean, right now, Jack just has to finish the event because he is on lap 14, going on to lap number 15. We're going to have some lap traffic up ahead of us very, very soon. In the form of Mikey RK13 and Royston. We're sliding as not too far Further up the road, Jamie has got back past Cam, so maybe another mistake or cut track from Cam to allow Jamie back through. Yeah, so 1:14 for the pair of them. That isn't their pace. And at the moment, Les is catching in on the pair of them. There's Fraser, he's got Lee right up his chuff going through Redgate here on lap number 15. So they head down through Hollywood into the Craner curves. Better line that from Lee through the old hairpin. I think he'll end up waiting until Coppice. He doesn't look to the outside of McLean's. It's the brakes. He'll probably look for a switch. Oh no, they're still side by side going through McLean's. He's going to have to back out of it. I'm surprised he hasn't just waited for Coppice to come. In through Coppice. Down Starkey Straight. Where the Ford loves it. It's fast, straight territory. I think that's Mikey getting out of the way. And John Lee thought about going down the inside of Fogarty S's. Couldn't quite do it. We'll look for a run out of the chicane a little bit sideways. Fraser immediately defensive, but I think NGR Lee's going to get past him as they hit the brakes into Redgate. Yes, and Lee has got him. Very slow through the corner of that Sierra. They head down towards the Craner curves for the 16th time. Just 7 laps to go for these boys. But NGR Lee, this has been a great fight back. He's back into 5th place. After a mistake, he will not be happy with himself about just clipping the grass on the entry to McLean. He's trying to take too much road. Yeah, I think Saigas just got back past Royston. Back to this battle though. And you can see Cam. Look at the pace of that Sierra. That's just absolutely bolted up the road. That's insane pace. Through Hollywood, and I just want to point this out, Les is now only 1.3 behind these two. So this has just got very interesting. Bloody hell, NGR Lee, a 1:11.7. Cam looking to get any mistake out of Jamie right now, because that Ford is looking very quick. Even at this stage of the race, when we thought the tyres would be dead, the Mercedes should really have an advantage here. Up through Coppice, and now we're about to see the Ford disappear in a straight line. I think Jamie either flashing his lights saying let's work together, or flashing his lights because the back marker ahead of us, that is Royston. Royston gets out of the way, lovely job by him. And go through Redgate just before the Les. But as they go now down through the Craner curves, this is the 18th time. Jack just has to make it to the finish by the seams of it. He makes a 2:12.2 on the last lap. 2:12.1 for Jamie, 2:12.3 for Cam. Not really any battles going on apart from this one for second place right now. Up to Coppice. A little bit wide down from Cam, trying to use as much road as possible, trying to get the speed up. This is where he will be strong actually. Because he's not too close to Jamie, he could actually get a very good run coming out of the chicane. Down to Redgate. through the craners. And down into the old hairpin cam. Sideways and round he goes. Out of the old hairpin. That drops into 4th. Got to get going again, otherwise he's going to have NGR Lee up his chuff. He went in very sideways into the old hairpin, couldn't quite hold it, and that puts him outside of that top 3 podium. And to be honest, I don't see him getting back into it now, unless one of the front 3 make a mistake. It's now 7 seconds behind the Les. Through the chicane, Cam goes. Very unfortunate for him. There goes Jamie through the craners for his 20th time. There's our leader, Jack TM53 Synopsis, just coming up towards Slider Gas, and I believe that's Mikey again, all over the grass. Into Coppice for the leader, and down towards Starkey Straight. He's got 2 more laps to go. And John Lee, brilliant recovery back into 5th place. And he's sideways again into McLean's. Very well, nice car control from Lee there. Really making sure he doesn't lose it now. He's fought very hard for that from the back of the pack. Scooby G in 7th, not having a brilliant race. Again, Whitford normally has the pace around Donington, not tonight unfortunately in the Mercedes. He's very good in the one-make stuff, although I don't think the Mercedes really has it in it tonight to do anything. As he comes onto Starkey Straight. The White House 7 does have web user Johnny right behind him though. So this is becoming an interesting battle, and they're going to have to go careful because Jack is approaching them. Very shortly. He's got to negotiate Slider Gas. Well, Jack has lost a bit of time there. Gap down to 4.5. Maybe a cut track penalty for Jack. As these two head through the fog of the S's. Oh, that's Slider Gas. He's spun in the background. That makes it easy for Jack to get past him. On board with Johnny then. Down through Hollywood into the craners. Hit the brakes into the old hairpin. The brakes into McLean's. I don't think Jack is quite going to catch them up, so Jack will get them to have an extra lap here to battle this out, which would be very good to see. Run over a bit of signage. But we will go back to our leader, because he's on lap 22 through the fog of the S's for the final time. Jack TM53 Synopsis wins in the Group A1s. He wins at Donington. Lovely race for him after a couple of hard ones at the beginning of the season. Jamie will be in 2nd place. The Les will be 3rd. Sliding gas there in 11th. Cam 123 days. Could have been better, but it's 4th place for him. A well-deserved 4th actually for Cam. And Gianni finishes in 5th. Fraser very happy with the 6th place there. Good drive by him. Scooby G will be in 7th. Royston in 12th. Whitford 0 will come down to the Fogarty S's. He's currently in 8th place. Drives it through the S's, down towards the line. And 8th place is Whitford's. We'll follow Mikey RK13. Remember, this man's on a controller. That is why that car's so hard to handle. He comes up to the line. He's in 13th. DY House 7 will hold on to 9th place from web user Johnny. And web user Johnny will finish there in 10th. So, Jack T53 Synopsis does win here at Donington from Jamie WRX, The Les, Cat123 Diz in 4th, NGR Lee 5th, NGR Fraser 6th, NGR Scooby G is in 7th, Whitford 0 in 8th, DY House 7 in 9th, web user Johnny 10th, Slidergas 28 in 11th, Royston in 12th, and Mikey RK13 in 13th, with Adam Morris retiring after 7 laps of a difficult race. So, my drivers of the day, there's 3 drivers of my day today. There is, well, technically 4 actually. Jack for a mighty flying drive, not really putting a foot wrong. The Les, cracking result by him. 3rd place is a very, very strong result. Cam, mainly because he's in that Mercedes, very, very good pace by him. Good determination. And Lee for that drive back up through the field after that mistake. That's not an easy job to do. Which is something, so to be honest, it is a really good effort from all 4 of those drivers. But Jack does take a win, and he'll be glad of that he's got a win early on. Last season it took him a long time before he got that win. Round number 4 is next week. We're at Bathurst, or everyone in the Ford Sierra Cosworth, so hopefully join us there. Next up, it's going to be the modern touring cars from Watkins Glen. That's in about 5-10 minutes, so join us for that one once the stream is up. But from me and the Group A1s, thank you for watching and enjoy the rest of your evening.